there's two philosophies regarding this coronavirus stuff. Number one is very optimistic, people believing that no matter what happens, ultimately this is going to blow over and things are going to be okay, even if that means some things change from here on out. Ultimately, even if things are going to be hard for a while, or things might even bounce back, but regardless, it's going to be okay. And the other philosophy is, we don't even know how bad this is yet. This could wipe out most of the planet's population, and people are understating it. People don't realize numbers are underreported. But what's my take on it? Well, first of all, you should know, my take is that I look at more the optimistic viewpoint, but I've always been kind of more the optimistic type. Now, I could have my fair share of worries as well, but generally, most of the time, I have an optimistic outlook on things. But also, since becoming a person of faith, it changes your outlook on things. And we understand that God can take something bad, a situation that we think is terrible, something we don't understand, and ultimately, He can make a positive out of it. I'll give you a small example. 4 years ago, I bought this camera, a Canon G7X. I loved this camera. It was a lot of money, a very expensive point and shoot. I used it for my vlogging channel. And then after having a son a year ago, it's been wonderful getting all these high quality photos and videos in this little camera that I can just pull out at a moment's notice. But recently, and I've been having a lot of problems with this camera because it's an older camera. I use it pretty much every day, but the flash broke. And that's a very crucial thing. I'm very into photography and stuff. And it's crucial not only for indoor photos, but even outdoors. If there's bright overhead sunshine, you get those ugly shadows. But if you turn the flash on, it can minimize a lot of that and you get a much nicer looking photo. So I was so bummed out a few weeks ago when this thing broke. And I just let the company know because I was inquiring how to get it repaired. And what happened is, I sent it in. I didn't even have to pay shipping on this thing. Even though the warranty on this thing had long expired years ago, they ended up replacing the whole camera with a newer model, all totally for free. And here I was worried. I didn't want to have to buy another camera because these things are quite expensive. But that was just an example of God taking a situation that I felt bummed out by, a little depressed by, and ultimately He made it a very positive. It was all a blessing in disguise. So that's my outlook. But it's funny too, because I watched Ramsey Paul, if you know who he is. He's a very good YouTuber, and he had a very optimistic outlook in his video yesterday. But if you read the comments, people were calling him an old fool, talking about how terrible things are going to be. And the reality is that they don't know that. None of us know, right? I don't know that things are going to be okay. And they certainly don't know that this is the end of the world. But one thing that I'd like you to keep in mind is that even if this is the end of the world, sitting around thinking about it all the time, having it dominate your thoughts and your life, that's really sad, even if it is going to be the end of the world, because first of all, that's not going to change things. That's not going to change reality, you feeling bad about something. And second of all, if it's the end of the world, do you really want to spend your last days on earth going about things, moping around, dreading what's to come? Or when your time comes, do you want to be taken doing whatever it is that you love in life, spending time with your family, studying, enriching your mind, working on your fitness, like telling loved ones, even if it's just a phone call, hey man, I miss you, what's going on? That's how you want to go out in terms of the way I think. So even if this is the end of the world, moping about it, it's not going to do any good. And you want to go out doing whatever it is that you love to do, living that kind of life that you want to do. So hopefully this brings a little hope and optimism. None of us know what's going to happen, but that's just my philosophy on it.